guys, Dwayne Richens, door-to-door realtor. Today we're going to talk about earnest money. Earnest money is the biggest joke on the planet. As we talk through this, I want you to understand the reasons why I feel like it's the biggest joke, and then help your clients to understand the ins and outs of earnest money. But most importantly, help the listing agent understand earnest money is really not that important and doesn't matter. So let's dive in. You've got 3 different dates in which you could get your earnest money back. You've got your seller's disclosures, you've got your due diligence, and you've got your finance and appraisal deadline. Finance and appraisal deadline is typically 3 weeks for me on all my offers that I write on a 30-day close. So the seller is always the one at risk. They are. And I think there should be some different skin in the game. There shouldn't be as many avenues for you to be able to get your money back from a buyer standpoint. But in reality, the $500 or $10,000, $100,000 of earnest money, it doesn't matter how much, because you're never going to lose your earnest money as long as your client does not go past those 3 dates. And I always explain that to my clients. Hey, we can throw in earnest money. I always throw in just a small amount because it doesn't matter. Here's what I'm going to tell you. As long as you listen to me and are very, very aware that if you go past this date and you don't buy the property, you will not lose your earnest money. If you go past the dates that I tell you about and then you back out, that's when you're going to lose your earnest money. Guess what, you guys? I've never lost earnest money. And that is something to be proud of. It's something your clients should be aware of. And it gives you a lot of experience to be able to say that. Now, as you go write an offer and you're negotiating with the seller's agent, you send the offer over. I don't even ask them how much earnest money. If it's $500,000, I'm going to send them probably $1,500 to $2,000 in earnest money. I don't do the 1% rule like a lot of agents bank on. And sometimes they'll reach out to me and say, hey, we really like your offer. It looks really strong, but your earnest money is low. Can you raise your earnest money? Here's always my rebuttal. I say, yeah, we can raise our earnest money if you need us to. But let me just ask you, is earnest money really that important? I think earnest money is garbage. Let me explain why. Have you ever lost earnest money? And I will ask the listing agent that. And the majority of the time they say no. And so neither have I. So it doesn't really matter if I put $5,000, $10,000, $100,000 in earnest money down. If we're not going to lose it, it really doesn't matter. It doesn't give you any skin in the game. That being said, on a seller's market, you have to do things a little bit different and do non-refundable earnest money, different things like that when it's a 6 or 7 offer bidding war situation. But bottom line is, if it's not, you don't need to put a ton of earnest money down. So explain to them, hey, I have all these dates to be able to get my earnest money back, but here is why you should pick us and why our offer is still super solid. And then you go through all the different steps. My clients have already been through underwriting. My clients are very picky and they don't want to see a lot of homes. And quite honestly, I don't show them a lot of homes unless it's something they feel like they would want to put an offer on from the pictures, the location, and all of the above. Prior to even going out and looking at the house, I want them to feel very secure in the fact that they want to potentially buy this home. So that being said, these guys know their stuff. They know what they want. They're not just going to settle, and they've already been through underwriting, so you know they're approved. So it really doesn't matter about the earnest money, does it? And 9 out of 10 times, I'm going to get the offer accepted. Now, if you have to raise the earnest money amount to be able to get a dumb agent to take your offer, then do it. But just tell them, I don't know why we need to do that. We'll do it. If you will accept our offer, I will talk to my client. I'm confident we'll raise the earnest money to whatever we need to win this. Now, one piece of advice I would give you, if you can get out of it, do not hold earnest money with a title company. It is a nightmare. I'm going to give you an example. I had a client that we put an offer in on this property. It looked like it had been completely remodeled. We got out there, the inspector went through it. It was a mess. Train wreck. We held earnest money with an attorney because in this state, in Georgia, I do a lot of real estate in Georgia. In this state, it's an attorney state, so they're holding the money. But needless to say, we back out. Seller wants an answer of why we backed out. I don't need to give you an answer. Seller's agent could not respond, could not act like a professional, and therefore sat on the earnest money for a month and a half before we finally got attorneys involved to be able to get the earnest money released. They never responded from a seller's agent standpoint. Now, if you can hold it with a brokerage, all you need is one party. One party saying, hey, yeah, we released the earnest money, and it's gone. So hold it with your brokerage, not with a title company, because if you hold it with a title company, it's got to be released by the seller's agent, and the buyer's agent have to get their clients to agree. All minds have to mesh together and become one in order for the money to transfer. So don't put yourself through that misery. If you're in a state that you can choose title company or brokerage from your real estate account, go with the brokerage account every time. Do not get tied up in the attorneys and all of the other stuff. But in reality, you guys, earnest money is garbage. I wish they would do away with it, but there's some tips and tricks on what to do when you come across earnest money situations.